Hello Tarot lovers and welcome back to Grand Tarot Readings. Happy you're here and I have a lot to tell you today about a very special deck that I have for, well, I think maybe more than 30 years. But first of all, did you see it? Yes, I had my gloves beautified. Aren't they beautiful? It's a bit more like I'm a magician now who does card tricks, but I like it. I think it enhances them and makes it more personal. I hope you like it too. And if you don't, well, you'd better get used to it. I've been getting a lot of tips on how to do this, and for some reason I'm very stubborn. So if people say, well, I don't like it, take it off. I'm sorry, but I do. It's a bit kitsch, but what's a world without kitsch? Anyway, as you know, time management is of the essence here, and I want to start with a deck today. It's a very special deck. I had it for more than 30 years, and it's called the Vlaamse tarok van Vandenborre. So Flemish tarok, Flemish, that's the Dutch-speaking part of Belgium. Vandenborre is the name of the card maker, and this is a tarot from 1780. Well, this one isn't. This is a facsimile edition. And for those of you who don't understand what facsimile is, a facsimile is an edition that isn't just a reproduction of the images and the text and the colors, but also the cards itself. It's like a perfect reproduction. So the paper is the same as the original paper, the colors are the same as the original. So facsimile is always the best to have, and I really like this facsimile edition. As you can see, it's therefore thicker than most tarot decks are, and the paper quality is very beautiful. But I wanted to discuss this one today because this one, if you are a tarot collector, this is the one you must have. And why do you have to have this deck? Well, for several reasons. First of all, I want to show you two of my favorite tarot books. And in these books, this deck is also discussed several times. The first book I want to show you is this book. It's from Brian Innes, and it's really for people who are into collecting tarot. And the other book, so I hope this is long enough that you could see it. The other book, and that's even better, is also in English. This is a book from Richard Cavendish, and I cherish this book. I like it even better than the book of Brian Innes, which I also love. So I will show you pictures from this later on. These books both are very important books, and if you come across them or get your hands on them, please buy them, because if you're a tarot collector or a tarot interest, you really must have them. So back again to this one, Vandenborre. Here you see something peculiar already. You see the number 5, the Roman number 5, and you would think, well, that's the Pope, huh? Major Arcana, that's the Pope. Well, it isn't the Pope. This is Bacchus. So what's going on here? Is this Belgian humor to say, hey, the Pope is the god of hedonism? If you look at the history of the popes, not so far beyond that. I have a book, and a rather thick book. I don't have it here, it's in Dutch, and it's called The Sex Life of the Popes. Well, it's a rather thick book, as you all know, what they were doing. So I think this may be a sense of humor, huh? So to say, okay, here we have the Pope, and because the Catholic Church is always very weary of tarot, and it said it's actually the book of the devil, they said, okay, let's make a joke here. We won't portray the Pope, but here we have Bacchus, the drunk god. So on the other side, you have the King of coins, pentacles, denier. So this is also interesting. It's Flemish tarot, and Flemish is other than Wallonian. And Wallonian is the French-speaking part, and Flanders is the Dutch-speaking part. But interestingly enough, the cards have all French names. So here you see Le Bateleur, Le Bateleur. As you know, my French isn't that very good. So that's a French word. So here I have the original booklet. that's there. This is Vandenborre, and it explains a bit about the cards. It's a small and interesting booklet that really worth looking into. Unfortunately, it's only in Dutch, but with Google Translate, if you come across a copy of this, it's interesting to have. But anyway, Flemish tarok. Why should anyone have this? It's not only because of Bacchus, the Pope, which in itself is really, really interesting, but you also had the Popes. I talked about this in other parts of this series, so to say. And what did they do? Mostly you have some female image if they, because of the Catholic Church, don't want to portray the Popes or give it that name. And then they say the High Priestess or some other woman. But what did Vandenborre do? It really blows my mind. A Spanish captain is number 2. Look. Le capitano español, le español capitano. So the Spanish captain. What's that? What's that about? Isn't this peculiar? So this is something that you only see in the Flemish tarok. That's what they call it often. Tarok, not tarot with a T but with a K. But this is magnificent, isn't it? I have to move on. So here we have Bacchus. And here we have, this is a bit like Marseille tarot. So with a man choosing between his mother and his wife, and then we go on with several cards, and then we come at another card. Le pendu means the hanged one, and someone, it was said to be Antoine Cour de Gobelin, is also a famous magician and tarot card layer, and he is very influential on many decks. And he made a bit of a stupid mistake. He saw the card the Hangman, and he thought, oh, that's should be the other way around. And after that, many tarot deck designers took that over. So here you have, instead of the Hanged Man, you have Le is pendu. Of Le pen is du. I don't even know what it means. But he's tiptoeing. Isn't that great? And you can see that it's meant like this because the same as death had the number and the inscription is standing correctly. So le pendu is here tiptoeing. This is so great and funny. So this is why I say this is such an interesting deck. Minor arcana is as we know it in many cases. So here you have, that's also the case often in these older decks with the Ace of Coins and the Two of Coins. There's a lot of information on that. So here you have the name Vandenborre, the Two of Coins, but usually it's all very plain. The Nine of Swords is 9 swords. Oh, here you also have some information in French on the Two of Cups, but usually here you see the Three of Cups. That's all pretty plain. But I really like this deck. As you can see, it's because it's a facsimile edition, it has these nice thick cards, and yeah, it's a great deck. Anyway, getting back to the books, I will flip through that a bit fast. So here you can see they also highlight the let's right with the camera, they highlight the fact that you have the Spanish captain here, and then you also see Bacchus here. You see Bacchus, and then we move on to the Hangman. So this interesting, and Richard Cavendish, he highlights all this, and this wonderful book has also these wonderful pictures in color. And what he does very well as well, what I like about this book, is that there are very nice pictures and references to art history. So this is really a very wonderful book, and you can still get it vintage, and it's not that expensive. So to round things up, I have to keep the last book for next time because I'm already at my 10 minutes. Bye bye, bless